welcome to a new episode of the Sweet Kitty Cast podcast channel. My name is Jolanda and thank you so very much for being here today. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so very much for doing so. And if you're returning, thank you so much for being here, my friends. I really appreciate that. I have a lot to show you today. I have some new topics I want to discuss and talk about. And I have been quite a busy bee. So I hope you will enjoy what you see, and maybe you can grab something to craft upon and join me for this little video chat we're gonna have about my crafting life. So I did some pre-recording while I was finishing stuff, so you will see me from a few weeks ago, so I will look a little bit different. And yeah, I recorded little snippets while I was doing and finishing things. I have a lot of sections and I have a lot of videos I have to add in, so I hope I won't forget anything. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. It would be very nice to have a little conversation with you through the chat box here in YouTube. I have a project page on Ravelry where you can find all my projects and links to the patterns, so that might be the easiest way for you to look up something if you see something you like and you want to make. And as you can see, my co-host Molly is already here. I am on Instagram and Ravelry as Jolanda Loves Yarn, and I just recently opened a Facebook page for my shop that is called Sweet Kitty Designs. Because my Etsy shop is called Sweet Kitty Yarn, but since I made it a little bit, expanded it a little bit more on adding project bags and things like that, my Facebook page is called Sweet Kitty Designs. Maybe that's a little bit confusing, but just what I chose to do, so I will stick with that. I got a few finished objects. I think it's the thing we're gonna start with first. Excuse me. I'm wearing one. I don't think you have seen this one. Sometimes I just see some yarn laying, being bundled, and I think I bought it for a resale and I just want to use it now, so it's out of the way. And this is the Drops Alpaca Boucle words. And it looks nice, it wears nice, but it is hideous to knit with because it catches the needle in when you knit, and it was not very pleasant. But I just powered through because I wanted the finished object. And this is not something dressy, but it is so nice and snuggly. There are pockets on there. It's knitted bottom up, and when you come to the armholes, you just cast on stitches for the sleeves. And this front and back is knitted separately from this point. Then they want you to bind off here. I just left stitches and did a 3 needle bind off later on, so that's over here. And yeah, it's oversized, it's warm, and it's just, I just wear it every day when it's a little bit chilly, and you can throw it off if you're getting too warm. So the collar is also nice, it's a shawl collar, and there's one drop stitch there that I need to repair still. So yeah, it wears fantastically, it is nice warm, it is not growing exponentially, so in that perspective the yarn is great, but I really did not enjoy knitting with it, so that's kind of a shame. But well, I just got a little bit left and I'm gonna donate to somebody I already know who's gonna get. And yeah, this is very, very nice. The next finished object is a thing that was on my needles for ages, and it just was the pair of socks, and it was the pattern is called Stressless Socks, and I totally fell in love with it when I saw the pattern. I bought it and I cast it on. But this is garter stitch in the round, and that's totally not my thing. And it makes it worse that it is a small circumference, I think. So The socks are garter stitch here and just stocking stitch at the top. And I think I modified it a little bit. There was more garter stitch. I don't remember totally. But I just wanted to finish it. It's just, oh, this can't be that hard. And it wasn't hard. It's just not my thing, garter stitching around. So if you don't know why, because garter stitches normally just knit, knit, knit. And if you do it in a round, you gotta knit one round and purl one round. And you gotta keep track on when you did purl, when you did knit, and things like that. But this is made in my hand dyed yarn and I love it. It's soft, it's squishy, and now I can wear it because I showed it to you. And yeah, this is not something I'm gonna knit again, but it is a lovely pattern. And if you don't mind pattern socks or knitting and purling in the round, this might be just a pattern for you. And I'm very curious to see. People say that this is very nice to walk on. I gotta see if that's worked for me, because my feet are quite sensitive, but it is a nice pair of socks and I'm very happy with it. Gotta keep an eye on my Molly because she's trying to get into my stuff. Another finished object, which is not a surprise I think, because last time I showed it to you I was quite far. And this is my Humulus and it's made out of my hand spun. And it was way too short last time I showed it to you, so I ripped some back and cast on fewer stitches, and now it is cropped a little bit behind the waist, I think mid hips or something. And I just used up this yarn. I'm not sure about the cast off though. I think I'm gonna frock this. I found, while cleaning up stuff, I found a swatch from this yarn, and I'm probably gonna use it to bind off this last little piece, because this looks a bit it flares and that's not the greatest part. I have some pictures for you. I will put it in here so you can see me wearing it. It fits very good. Of course, I wish I had more yarn so I could make it longer, but that's not the case, so we're gonna do with what we have. And yeah, it's very nice. I like wearing these short sleeves. Just slip it on over a long sleeve t-shirt, or yeah, like this. And since I am doing the sewing course, I'm making skirts, and this will look very nice on the skirt. So, who knows? I think that's most of the finished objects, so we'll have a quick look. No, it's not. I finished my Ridari, and I have some video clips about what I did and what I finished and how it looks. And now it's in the video. It is not totally finished, but now it is. And Patrick has been wearing it non-stop when he gets out of school. His room is a bit chilly if you sit and you just play games and don't have any movement, so your hands get cold and everything gets cold and chilly. I'm sorry, got to wiggle a bit. So it's a bit wide for him, but he is bigger than I am. He's taller than I am, so it fits him so nicely. I want to take a picture of him wearing it, but that's kind of the thing with teenagers. But if I get the chance, I'm gonna do it so. So it is totally finished, but in the little video clip you're gonna see it is not. So that's what I'm gonna tell about it now. So enjoy the video. Ja, kom maar. Kom maar. Really? Kom maar. Kom maar bij. Kom maar. You can do it. Kom. Kom. Ja, kom maar. Kom maar. Ja, kom dan. Scared Molly? You're so bad in jumping. Hi. Okay, so I've been sewing on and reinforcing the steek. First I did a line over here, and now I am adding a ribbon on the inside. I made one line of machine stitching, and I think I will do this side by hand. There are some things sticking out here, so I will trim that close to the ribbon. I hope that will be reinforced enough. And yeah, I hope this is enough. You can see the stitching because you see a line here. See where I stitched for. But really, I think if this is washed, it will disappear into the stitches. And I rather have a little line than a sweater that is falling apart. So I can live with that. If you, yeah, of course, if you look closely, you can see. Probably you can see. Maybe you can't. I can see the stitching. But it's good enough for me. I wonder if this fits, and I'm gonna get poked. I'm gonna get poked by the needles that are in there. I don't care. I'm holding my cardigan. We are getting cooler weather, but they're also talking about 26 degrees Celsius on Monday. How nice. I might even be able to use my air conditioning, which is installed. Oh, look at that. I'm in love. I just put it away because the summer, but yeah, I can see me wearing this, no problem. And it is fitting quite nicely. I just have to finish the ribbon, attach the buttons, and yes, I'm done. A few other things I have done, and these were already finished a long while back. But the blocking is a thing, isn't it? Because you need a lot of room, you need nice weather, and we didn't have any of that. So I just steam blocked it on with my iron board and steam iron. And oh, this looks so nice. So this is already on my project page when it was not blocked then, and it is much nicer now, and it grew a lot, and this is absolutely stunning. I'm very happy with this. So this is always nice if you get yourself to do it and finish the things, and now I can wear them and store them. And there behind me is also the butterfly dream catcher, which was not steamed or blocked, and now it is so nice and so adorable. So that is something that makes me very happy, and can't get it off my list. I don't have a list, but in my head there is the list, and it's getting longer and bigger, and that's not so very nice. So I think for the knitting, that's all I have finished and all I have done. I did start, of course, a few new things. One thing I did not bring with me, that is, I did bring it with me, yeah. I joined a course with Mary Green, and that is called Knit Camp. Very nice. You get weekly a pattern. Once a month you get a pattern, and weekly you got chats, videos about all kinds of stuff. Getting gauge, binding off, doing shoulder seams. You learn a lot. So it's a monthly fee. It is not cheap, but I just wanted to do something to keep me busy during the winter months, and this came by, and I like her patterns, and I like how she writes them, so I just followed that course. There was an exclusive pattern you got just for knit campers, and that was the knit camp cardigan. It is a very nice pattern, and I just started it, but there were test knits coming along, and things I had to finish. So I started it, but there's not that much to see, so I think I'm gonna omit that for now. If I get a little bit further and you can really see, and anyhow, you can't buy it, you can't get the pattern, it's just exclusive for knit campers. But just gonna reach over here because the stuff is here. This one did get some love. This is the pattern from Jennifer Steingas, and I showed it a few times before. And it is a knit out of Drops Charisma, which is a very nice 100% wool yarn, very affordable. And I finished the body. See? And I have had the courage to pick up a sleeve. And as many other podcasters mentioned this is kind of a project I have to do in the early morning. So I have to knit. For me, I just there are 8 rounds, and then there's a decrease. I have to do at least 8 rounds a day, because how much knitting is that? It's hardly any knitting, but you just keep postponing it because I don't like to knit sleeves. So 8 rounds, a decrease, and then I can knit on something else, or crochet, because crochet is kind of a thing right now. So this is getting some love, and this needs to get finished because the colder weather is coming and we all want to wear our hand knits, don't we? So, very nice pattern, very well written. I tried it on and it fits very nice, so there is no point in delaying and no excuse either. So another pattern I want to talk about. See if I can find it. Yes, it's right in front of me. I just saw a pattern coming by from an, I think it's a Swedish designer, and I just fell in love with it, and it's the Mountain Rose sweater. And I bought the pattern. Here it is. And it's Anna. Anna is the designer. I so love that one. And she did a translation in English for us. So that is always so much appreciated. If the designers we love from the Norwegian countries do the effort to translate their patterns. This is a very short pattern, so it's only it's 1 page and a few charts, but really that's all you need. I had contacted her because there were some issues, well, not issues, there were some typos, some things that were not completely clear. She was very cooperative in answering my questions. Unfortunately, she did not update the pattern yet, but while I'm knitting it, I'm gonna put all the things I found in my project pages, description notes. So if you want to make this pattern, you can do so. I would highly recommend supporting new designers who do translation, which is, as I understand, a tremendous amount of work if you want to do your pattern in multiple languages. And since she is just a small designer, it is always nice if she gets some support. I know her Swedish patterns are there are more Swedish patterns than translated patterns. And since I messaged her back and forth and she was so responsive and kind, I offered her, if she was interested, that I would proofread her patterns before she puts them up, the English portion of it, because it's just a few, maybe 1 or 2 pages, and you can pick out things, because I knit a lot of English patterns. I can pick out those things. So she was very kind and she said, oh, that would be amazing if you wanted to do that, but I can't offer you anything for it. I said, that's totally fine. I just offered it because I think it is important that she gets the word out that she makes those English translated patterns. And you don't have to be perfect if you just start doing it. It's just the effort that counts. And so she did contact me last week, and she said there was a pattern coming up if I had the time to do so. So I will do that, absolutely. That's no problem at all. So she got more patterns on up, and it is she has some very nice boxy ones if you're into that. That's not my style, but I really liked this one. She has no abbreviations. That is something she chose specifically. She just spells out everything, so no SSK and that kind of thing. She just exactly says how it goes. What can I tell about this? There is an error in the page she put on, because it says bulky weight, and there's no way you can get this stitch count with a bulky weight, 22 stitches. That is not a stitch count you can get in bulky weight. So I already told her that is totally incorrect, and that is kind of a shame, because that will attract the customers. If you're looking for a specific pattern, I will look up for the size of yarn I have, and if you look for a sport weight yarn, you won't find the patterns that are written for bulky weight. So it's kind of sad, because I think this is more a sport weight gauge than a bulky weight. I'm just looking for her designer name. I know she's Anne. That's how we communicate, but I can't find her designer name on here. But I will put it here on screen for you. And this is in my project. So if you have the chance, if you like this, if you want to support new designers that do English translations, please buy her pattern. And I think she needs projects on her project page, and get more attention from knitters. I think she deserves it. Her range of sizes is not the best. That's kind of sad, but it is going to XXL, and if you knit, it is written for sport weight. If you would make it in DK or worsted weight, you already get a bigger size, so you can compensate for that. That is a possibility. So that is about the knitting. Did I get everything knitting wise? Yeah. I just wanted to show you the colors and the yarn I'm going to use for the pattern. That is the Mountain Roses. So I chose the drops yarn because I had plenty of it, and it is going to be a grey with pink and an off-white color, and I think it's kind of not a high contrast, but a very nice and pastel sweater. But I think this will blow out a lot. This will look very nice. So these are the yarns I'm going to use for the Mountain Rose sweater, and I did start it. It is a split hem, so I started with the hem. It's a bottom-up sweater, and yeah, looking forward to that. Let's go on to spinning, because we are about all the fibery stuff. I had made some videos about spinning, and I finished some spins, the Wensleydale. I did do a video on that. I also had some spindle spun turtles made on a Turkish spindle, and I just gonna attach those to some already bats I had on the same fiber. I just want to finish that off on my electric e-spinner, and that is a very nice thing, because you can use your spindle spun and your machine spun together. I just recorded how I did that, so I will put it in here for you. So I found some more fiber I want to spin and clear off the stuff I have. I finished my green Wensleydale. Look how shiny it is. This is just resting for me to wind it off my niddy noddy. And then I found a bag with these little cute things. This is a Turkish spindle, and it's a really lovely and lightweight. You can spin quite fine with it. So I've got a few of those little turtles, and I got more fiber. There's some stellina in here. I found these, and some of them are already pre-drafted. I think I will finish this little bit on my spindle. The rest I will put on my wheel, and I'm just gonna try to wind these on my electric wheel and see if I can make one big strand of singles for later on to ply. So that's what I'm gonna try. This is kind of an experiment, so if you want to join me, feel free to do so. I'm gonna try this. Oh well, it already broke, so we can try and fix this on this little turtle. So let's find the beginning. It is spun quite fine, which is nice. Could even make it a chain ply or 3-ply for some stock yarn, because it is kind of rustic feeling. So you gotta have some fluff to make sure this will adhere at each other. Maybe I'm gonna split it and put this in between. See if this works. I think I'm gonna slow down my wheel a bit, because you don't want to add extra twist. So that might be a thing to consider. And let's try if I can draft this out and make it a nice and a smooth join. So far so good. I won't need this fluff because it already is. So let's feed it in quite quickly. It's going well, just dropped, doesn't matter. After this I will spin a little bit of fluff again, and then we're going to try to add another little turtle. So this is quite easy. There's quite a lot of yarn on a turtle actually. I'm surprised of that. Getting near the end. Still going. Okay. So I will stop the wheel in a minute, and I will change these, find the end. I'm gonna crank up the speed because now I'm gonna spin and I want more twist. Oh, it's a bit too much. Just let the fluff attach to the yarn that is already made, and we're gonna start spinning. Wow, this is going absolutely great. Better than I expected. Just a short forward draw, which creates always a nice and very smooth yarn. It's nice to use up the stuff you already have and has been laying around for way too long. And yeah, I'm really excited about all this. I can see I can getting more space, and yeah, finishing loose ends. That's what it feels like. I'm also working on my sewing machine at the moment. I'm finishing a project for my course I am doing. I also dug out my Riddery Norwegian sweater, which I steeked. I just reinforced the steek with my machine, because it was not a real sticky yarn, and I saw things getting loose. And now I am attaching a ribbon on the inside. And yeah, I just want to finish things, because there are tons of things I also wanted to start. So let's try the trick again with the attaching the little turtle. So I'm leaving some fluff. Go down. See if I can find the beginning very soon, because twist is building up. Trying to draft those two pieces together so it won't come loose. It's kind of a nightmare. It happened a lot lately. Spinning too thin, too little twist, I think, and things came loose and the yarn broke, and I had to reattach it, and oh dear. Too much take up is also a thing. Too high of a take up makes your yarn break. Timo! Hi! Got a visitor here. Timo! So there's a little bit of color difference I can see. Some is more pinkish, this other one is a bit more coral. But that is okay. When we're gonna apply this, that won't really matter. It's so nice to see how much yarn there is on a turtle. It's really unexpected. I'm gonna take my little Turkish spindle downstairs so I can spin here and there a little bit while waiting for the water to boil, waiting for dinner to get finished. Yeah. It will give me a lot of yarn, and it was just sitting there. It's just a shame. Just feeding in the yarn quickly so it won't be so over twisted. Hopefully. We're clearing. Yeah. We're coming to the end. Okay. I'm gonna show you how much. Oh, you can see how much yarn there's on there. Look at that. It's a turtle and that's a turtle. Amazing. There's also a video about how I applied my Wednesday deal, and that yarn is finished but not skeined and washed, so I will show that when I finish that part. There's also a video on how I ripped my hand spun cardigan. I did way in the beginning, and that was a drops pattern, and it's almost turned into a dress. And I wore it a few times. The neckline is way too wide. I think I'm way more advanced in knitting and choosing the right pattern for the right yarn. So I just thought I will rip the whole thing and reclaim the yarn and make something new out of that. And that's also a yarn that I have in my mind, and I will think about when I look through patterns and see if something appropriate comes along, and then I just go and charge and I will go and knit that pattern with that yarn because I want it used up. So that's how it works, and something bubbles up and then it needs to happen. So there's a video about, so a little clip, and I will show that now to you. So another thing I am working on is on my spinning. I dug out all my fiber, and there's a lot of undyed fiber here, and there was also pre-dyed fiber, and very surprised it was Wensleydale. I never spun Wensleydale. It's quite a curious fiber actually. It's very slick, shiny, and at first I found it very hard to draft, but the staple length is quite long, so I had to hold my hands further apart than usual, and then everything went smoothly. But it is very slick, it needs quite a lot of twist, and it falls apart very easily. So I had about, I think it was 200 grams, but it looks more like 100 grams, doesn't matter though. And it is a very nice, nice color, nice green. This will be amazing to use for a colorwork sweater, to use as an accent color. And I don't know if you, it's quite fuzzy. You see all the fuzz here, and it is a shiny yarn, and it is look, it falls apart very easily. So this is something I'm going to apply right now. I dyed up quite a lot of fiber already, and that is hanging out to dry. I might take some shots out of that so you can see what I was working on. There's a mess everywhere because I ripped everything out of the closets and I stored it back in a more economical way, I hope. So it gives me access to stuff I was not using for a long time. I want to use my fabrics for my sewing cars. I had a whole basket full of pre-cut project bags, so I'm gonna work on that. Get stuff out of the way that is already ready to be used, and it won't take that much time to finish it, and it gives me more room and more breathing space because things are cluttering up so easily. So I'm gonna start applying. I'm gonna have you take a look at what I'm doing, just a short, some short shots, and I hope you enjoy. So as you all know, I do love my e-spinner. I use it for everything at the moment, and I'm really thinking about selling my traditional wheel, which is the Crochet Fantasia, which is a lovely and lightweight wheel, easy for beginners, very adaptable for advanced, but it is a treadle wheel, and since that is a problem for me, I think I can do almost everything on my e-spinner. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to say goodbye, but room, space. So I do I do make center pull balls on my ball winder, and that gives me, yeah, an easy way to spin. I might put them down because this is very close. That's not the most practical thing. It gives us a bit more room for the twist and for the cone to unwind. So this is very easy on an e-spinner, and it is going very quickly. You can speed it up quite a lot if you want to. But right now the yarn is kinking up on me, so I won't. But yeah, this is going fast and easy. So the twist keeps building up because you just can't stop as easily as you can with a normal spinning wheel, although the newer types have a foot pedal which makes it easy to stop the wheel. But if the twist builds up too much, I just stop the wheel. I draft from the balls a bit further so the twist will go into that part, and yeah, that will work too. So this is a very nice, smooth and shiny yarn. It was quite a new thing to spin, because Winsleydale does behave differently in my opinion. But I think this will make a very nice yarn for color work, because it is so smooth, and yeah, I think it will give a great stitch definition. So when this is finished, of course, I'm going to show it to you. So this is something I wanted to show you. This is a cardigan I knit out of handspun. It was spun in a combination spinning, and it has grown, and it is too big, way too big, and I am gonna frog it, and I'm gonna reclaim the yarn. So I already frogged some part of it. So as you can see, this is already frogged, so it was almost like a dress. It was so long. And I knitted this alternating skeins, so I'm gonna frog one row color 1 and then another row of color 2, and I'm gonna frog the whole thing, and I might even reskein it and then wash the yarn so the crinkles will come out. And yeah, then I'm gonna find a project that is suitable and it's gonna bring back the life and use of this yarn, because that's just a waste. It took a lot of time to spin this, and yeah, I love the colors. I think it's very bright and very cheerful. So yeah, I'm looking forward looking for a pattern that I can make, and yeah, this will be seen again. Just winding this by hand. Molly is getting very agitated just by the prospect of yarn. She's already chewing the yarn. My yarn mold, no. Disgusting, but true. And then, oh, did you see the pattern, the nature walk from Sandra Paul, who is Sherry Hart? Oh, at the moment I saw that pattern, it's a crocheted blanket. I just totally jumped in. You could buy packaged bags. It was the Scheepjes Stonewash. But I had so much acrylic yarn in my stash that I wanted to use, and I had so many nice colors. I did some redecorating here in my room. I bought a little sewing table from IKEA. I did buy a very nice lamp that I can use and see what I'm doing. And so I just wanted to use up those yarns. I redecorated a chair that was here that was so totally destroyed. I will talk about that a little bit later. But I just wanted to reuse those colors in my new bedspread, and this is gonna be it. Her blanket is just a picnic blanket, but I want to make it at least 2 meters by 2 meters so it will fit on my bed. And then I have two very nice granny square crochet blankets. So if you're not familiar with the pattern, her walk through nature gave her the inspiration for the patterns she wrote. So if you buy the yarn pack, you get bonus patterns, which I do not have. So I will double the squares or triple the squares if necessary, that she will put out for free. So every week you get a pattern, and the first one was, I will show these. Hi Molly. Is a garden gate, and that is this pattern. So I did this in the ochre color and also in this one. So I do 200 grams skeins balls for each week. A bit obsessive, but I just wait until the next pattern comes along because it's such a fun thing. Then the next one was, as I remember correctly, the buds. No, it's not the buds, it's the berries pattern. So this is the berries. And these are the berries, see? Then there was a pattern you could try out before the whole crochet along started, to measure your gauge and see if everything worked out. And that was the heart pattern, and that is not officially, I think, a pattern for the blanket, but I had more time, so I did the hearts also. See, you see the little hearts there? So that is also nice. Now the last thing that's not the last thing, the thing we got this week, every Tuesday there's a new pattern. This is the buds. This looks so nice. Patrick said it look like little bees. I said, yes, it's bees or buds or butterflies. Very nice, and it is very easy to do. So this is the next square for this week. So I got to make a lot more, but it is so much fun, and it's so nice for the hands to do something else. And then there is always a little bit of leftover from each bowl. Sometimes it just comes short a little bit like that, and it's so I just make little mini squares, and this is gonna be a little kitty blanket for them in the same colors as my blanket are. So I thought that might be fun, and there is hardly any leftovers now. So there are still more colors to come. I just choose the ones I like first, and I have no clue how many are there to come and how many more I'm gonna need, because I definitely need a lot and lots of more. But they will be crocheted together, so they're probably gonna be intersections that also add to the width and the length, so that's good. So this is very enjoyable. I really like this, and yes, the anticipation of a new pattern every Monday, Tuesday, yes, and Thursday is I always get confused about the Tuesday and the Thursday, but the second day of the week, that's what the pattern will be released. So that's for the crochet part. Let's have a look. I have to look up what I am going to talk about, or I'm going to forget things. Yes, clearing up the attic. My husband is making a bedroom in the attic, and so we had to clear out stuff and clean up stuff, and we found stuff. So I found stuff from the old quilting and patchwork days. So I made a little video about that, and show you what I did get out of that. And then out of those little things, which you're gonna view first. Let's do that. So there was a lot more stuff I found while clearing up the attic, and some very surprising things which makes me quite happy. I found a whole big basket full of already pre-cut little pieces of yarn for a quilt. And I did some quilting, and that was really a long time ago. I think it was before any of my children were born, so that might be 20 years ago. And quilts are very durable and they are really loved. So I think this is kind of one, she is from a yarn again. This is one you can make with all the little squares. So this is just a small size. I think we use this as a cover for a couch, so the way the cats can lay on and they don't scratch on the couch. So it has been, see, this is the real quilting, right? This is just patchwork, and the quilting is, I have done it by hand, so I don't know if you can see that. See, there are little motifs. I think I had stencils, and you can draw the motif on the fabric and then quilt it, and you can steam it or wash it and it will disappear. I think it worked like that. The stencils probably are somewhere. I have not found those yet, but nothing is impossible. And while clearing here the cupboards, there was a pincushion I made. So this is a crochet one, and it's got a back, got a little flower in the center. So that's also a very nice thing to find. And of course pins, I already bought new ones because I know I've got stuff, but I can't find it. So this is also a very nice thing I'm going to be using. And something else from some very old DVDs actually, and they were still for Windows 95, so I'm very curious to see if this is gonna work. It is called Super Size, and this is 1,000+ quilt blocks and foundation patterns, and this is 600+ quilt block and foundation patterns. So if I ever get into quilting again, this will be nice to use. So I don't think I ever use this. Here is some examples what you can find on those DVDs. Yeah, that's nice, you never know. And there was also this one, Mode Creations Deluxe, basic wardrobes for women. And this is something you can put your own measurements in, and you can print the pattern out. Some basic patterns. And I think I used those some time ago, but can't remember exactly. So things you can find when you clear up the attic. So out of those little squares I made this, a cover for my e-spinner. Look at that, how cute that is. It's just a little hood. Just put it on. What I want to do eventually is or interface it or add some quilted padding, fleece, how do you call that? Doesn't matter, to make it a little bit more stable, but it is fine for me now. This was in another spot before, and Molly always chews my my yarn, so it needs to have a cover. Now I changed things. It is here in this cabinet which closes, so she can't get to it, and that's very nice and very safe for her, and saves me good night's sleep, because I hear everything she does. Now the next session is going to be sewing, and I hope you're happy to see what I'm doing on that part. And if you're not, totally feel free to leave it here, and then I will see you next time. So I finished the apron, and I had a little video where I talked about the apron I had to make. and after that I will put up a little picture of me wearing it. So that is what we're gonna do first. So another thing I've been working on is on my sewing project. This is going to be an apron, see, with a bag in front. And of course we gotta make the stitching as neat as possible. I just put in some bias band because that was a thing you needed to do to finish off the armholes. Are they armholes? I guess they are, kind of. See? And now I've got caper band ribbon, and that's going to be attached to the top. I've just chosen a darker color because here online and colors that would not be easy to match, so I just took a very dark color, which is blown out because of my lights. So this has been attached to the neck. I have to attach it to the sides. I made side seams. I have to make side seams, and the bottom seam. It is a bit thin, but yeah, as I said, buying stuff online sometimes does not give you exactly what you hope for. But it is about the practice, and I will do this practice and hope it will turn out okay and give me a good grade. Another thing I just said briefly is a chair I'm sitting on that I renovated. Look at that lovely fabric. Roses. I love roses. I love pink. I bought little boxes for my cabinet which has roses. So this is going to be a rose room. And yeah, I have some pictures about that. The before and the after. It's not 100% finished because one arm has to be done. I need to screw it off, and this is an electric chair, so it goes up and down with some batteries, and that is attached to this arm handle. And yeah, that's a bit more of a work. I have to screw it off, remove the old fabric that's on there, that's totally torn, and I had some very nice and fluffy stuff that I will put on here, which is nice for my elbows, which hurt a lot. So that's nice and soft, and yeah, it just brightens up everything. It's really nice to do. So get inspired. Maybe you have something you wanna yeah, reuse, redecorate, and just maybe a blanket over it, or a simple cover. I did nothing fancy. It is a square, and I just made a tunnel around, and I put elastic around through the tunnel, just pull it tight, and just stretch it over the back and the part where you sit on. So it's nothing elaborated. But it looks so much better, so very happy with that. Then the sewing chorus is progressing very nicely. I get some very nice grades, which I was very happy about. I have to make skirts, and I don't wear skirts, but I really made one that I do wear, and I like that. And there was some nice people who complimented it on me wearing the skirt, so thank you very much if you did so. I put my projects on Ravelry anyway, even though it's not knitting, because it's such a nice thing for yourself to remember when you made it and when you finished it and all kinds of stuff. So I will put some pictures in here from the skirt because it is all locked up already, because I can't keep everything out or it will be an even bigger mess than it already is. And then there is another skirt, and I'm just gonna pull it out on the molly. It's probably gonna be very hairy. So I have to draft the pattern first, and it has to be on your size. So the good thing is, if you try it on, the chance that it fits perfectly is very, very big, very great. So this is also a skirt I had to make. So this one is has some extra seams. So there are some, see, there are seams here, and this is where you hide the extra room. You have to divide from the hips to the waist. So the extra room, the darts you have to make are hidden in those seams. It is quite hard to see because it is a very dark purple, but I will go further. So the waistband, and there's also a seam going this direction. So that is something we had to practice, and it's something we had to draw in our drafted pattern. We had to do a button, we had to do a zipper, which I'm not very happy about, but you can only rip things so many times before things fall apart. So just go with it. A zipper, buttonhole. My machine did not like doing buttonholes in this fabric with that much interfacing in between here, so that was quite a disaster. I had to get things out and try it again. So, well, I'm just gonna mention it. It's a learning process. You can't do everything right at once. Well, it would be nice, but it didn't happen to me. And we had to make a slit so you can move in your skirt. Don't look at all the hairs, because yeah. So that worked out quite well. I'm just using very cheap fabrics because I don't see me wearing this very often, maybe once a decade, but that doesn't matter. It is very nice, and you learn everything, and next time it's going to be more easier. And then I got a sewing bug, and I hoped that would happen because I have been sewing a lot when my children were young. I always sew everything for myself, and I was very happy wearing it. I still got clothes I wear when I sew them myself. But when knitting took over, I didn't sew at all. I was quite sad about that because you see much more people saying homemade wardrobe in all kinds of sorts. And I was way on the way with socks and sweaters, and well, you can knit your own skirts if you want to. But yeah, the sewing just never came off. And now I've got my table here and my sewing machine, so I could just slide on and start. And the course really helped with that. And then I dug out all the project bags I already pre-cut and interfaced, and they just had to need a zipper, lining, and yeah, that would have been done. So I did a lot of that, and I did really a lot of that. You know me. When the bug hits, the bug hits. I'm sorry, Mole, I already need this one too. I will give you something in return. Here's my skirt. Sweater? You want a sweater? So I can put bags into the box again, and they won't be slept on by any cats. So this is something very unique. This is a kind of a sweater-sized project bag, which is in my shop at the moment. And my shop is on Etsy. It's a Sweet Kitty yarn. So this is fabric I made on my knitting machine. So it is real knitted fabric, and that is used to make this project bag. Something on my nose. I don't have that. I perfected my zippers, which look quite good and pristine. I just perfected everything I wanted. I made some big mistakes and googled and looked at YouTube and combined the things I found interesting, and so I perfected my bags. And this is another one. It's already on sale. So they are all lined, see? And I used it the way to make the zipper visible and as a decoration element. And because of this, Let's have a look. The zipper is most likely not to catch on your yarn because it is very much out of the way. So some have handles, some don't have handles. Most of the time I forget to put the handles on and they're still here on my desk. Like, oops, I just did the side seam and the handle is still there. Yeah, well, that happens. Nobody knows but you. So another one. I like that fabric, see? So that is, yeah, I had zippers. I talked about my husband with that. I said I had a whole drawer full of zippers, all new. I bought those 30 years ago when I was doing my first study for being a seamstress, and that was 30 years ago. And her son, from the lady who did the teach us, he worked at a store which sold zippers that were out of yeah, what do you call that? Well, they were overstocked and from stores that were bankrupt, whatever. They don't didn't pay the bills. So this were all leftover zippers, and we bought like I said, a drawer full, and I sold some on the internet already, and these are still there. 30 years I saved those, and now they finally get a home in these project bags, and I hope there's something for you in these, so these can go to your home and you can enjoy those. So also they're all lined. There I have a box bottom, so that is very nice for extra room. And that's, as I said, I just try to perfect the zippers so they line up nicely. They're not all 100% perfect because I'm not 100% perfect, but if they're really bad I won't sell them anyway. So this is a nice Dutch fabric that might be interesting for non-Dutch persons. And there were fabrics I got from my mother a long time ago, and I still remember that. So yeah, I love that. I'm a flower person. I really like that. Pink flowers, yeah. And another lovely one. So also lined. I try to line them not in a very busy fabric, so it is easy to see what's in there. See, and yeah, little logo on there. Sweet Kitty Crafts. I ordered new ones with Sweet Kitty designs, which I think is a little bit more appropriate. And yeah, a ton of stuff. And I all photographed those, and I already put up a ton of them in the shop. And I already also did put up all these sock tubes I showed a long time ago. And people already bought some sock tubes, so I really hope you enjoy knitting your socks in a very fast way, because I did most of it on the machine and that works very well. I saved a whole bag full for myself, and yeah, I gotta start finishing off some socks before Christmas, because the boys always want socks. They need more socks, right? So I have a quick look around and see if I did not forget anything. I don't think I did. For the coffee donators who donated me a coffee, thank you so much. That is really appreciated. I have plans for the future, maybe a drawing for the coffee donators once a month or once a quarter, and send out a prize for you guys, because that is so nice, such a nice thing to do. Also people who support me by buying stuff from my shop, that's also very much appreciated. And if you're just here for the talking, that's also fine. Please give me a thumbs up, follow me, and subscribe, and maybe if you have time, leave me a comment. It's always so nice to hear from you and to know that I'm not talking only here to me, and to hear me, but also that I'm reaching you and you enjoy that. So thank you so very much for sitting out this time with me. I hope to be back sooner, but I think that every time and it just does not happen. Doesn't happen. So I'm very sorry for that. Anyhow, it was very nice talking to you, and please spread the word. If you like to see me put up some posts on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, the more the merry, and it is very motivating if you're producing anything like this, that you know there are people watching and enjoying that. So thank you so much, and hope you see you next time. Please share what you're working on and leave comments below. Until next time, enjoy all your crafting work. Bye!